Hello everyone, I am Charles Summelsberger. As mankind began to dabble with the destructive power of nuclear weaponry, the fear of our extinction caused by a massive nuclear war has both intimidated and inspired the world. One such group of inspired thinkers would create a game series based on the aftermath of such a nuclear World War III, called Fallout. Fallout is a beloved game title, but why is a game based on mankind's destruction so popular? To answer this, I will be examining the games Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4 to see what each title offers to the audience. Before we jump into the nuclear fallout, let's first understand the lore of the game for some context. Fallout takes place in an alternate history of Earth, where in the 1940s technology began to skyrocket beyond what we have now. However, we never discover the transistor. 1950s era music, fashion, and the bulky style of computers and machines stay popular up until 2077. On October 23rd of 2077, with the resources of the world dwindling to near nothingness, the US begins a war against China, and the results would lead to the destruction of the world in nuclear Armageddon. Fortunately, mankind would survive due to a company named Vault-Tec that made hundreds of bunkers to save people's lives in the events of such a war happening. 200 years pass, and now in 2277, the surface world has drastically changed with new people, landscapes, and monsters inhabiting the Earth. Now that you are caught up to speed on the lore, let's begin with Fallout 3. Fallout 3, released on October 28th of 2008, was the first in the game series made by Bethesda Studios, having bought out the original Fallout 1 and 2 developers. The original games were 2D that functioned more like a text-based adventure game. When Fallout 3 came about, it turned the franchise around by making it a 3D, open-world RPG role-playing game. You play as a custom-made 21-year-old character that is forced out of their home, Vault 101, because their father ran away with the vault going insane as radiated bugs infest the facility. Set in the ruins of Washington, D.C., the protagonist forges their place in the world through their actions. Be you a savior or a devil, the wasteland becomes either a greater or more dangerous place because of you. While the game lacks the advanced mechanics and customizability that the later games have, what Fallout 3 offered was a breath of fresh air when it was new, with a world and story that still has people playing it today. A good way to describe Fallout 3 is with the saying, oldie but a goodie. After Fallout 3, we got Fallout New Vegas on October 19th of 2010. This game takes place in Las Vegas, California, and its surrounding Mojave Desert. As society rebuilds itself, you have the NCR, the New California Republic, a group trying to restore California to a unified system of American government. And you also have Caesar's Legion, a group that has taken on the guise of the Roman Empire in every way possible, out to conquer the wasteland for themselves. Meanwhile, the protagonist was just a courier that ends up getting involved in world events, choosing if one side will win over the other, or if they themselves will become the ruler of New Vegas. This game brought with it a new crafting system that allowed for the manufacturing of food, water, ammunition, weapons, and weapon upgrades, and medicine. All things perfect for the newly added survival mode where you must eat, drink, and sleep to survive. While the fans did not care too much for the story, nor did they care much for the good or evil choices due to the pointless faction system over the morality system, the added gameplay mechanics is what hooked fans. Countless hours either surviving to the last resource or crafting weapons of mass destruction to blow your enemies away like never before. Finally, we come to Fallout 4, released on November 10th of 2015. This game takes place in Boston, both before the war and 30 years after the events of Fallout 3. Your character was once a member of the US Army, whose family gets sent to a nearby vault as the bombing of 2077 goes on around them. It is there that they are all cryogenically frozen, but at some point in the future, a raider breaks into the vault and thaws everyone out, only to steal your son Sean, before freezing everyone again. Finally, in the year 2300, your character thaws out again as the systems finally fail, but sadly all your loved ones and neighbors perish after the life support systems got fried. The end goal is to get your son back, and that is the only weak link in the game as you really stop caring about your child. The game map is 3 times larger than that of Fallout 3's, with so much more to explore and do. The weapon upgrade system got greatly improved to make even horrible weapons potential candidates for late game use. You still have factions you can join, but the morality system returns to once more work hand in hand with how the general wasteland sees you, not just the factions. Also, now you can finally claim your own wasteland settlements, and hand-build facilities for colonists that follow your leadership. To top it all off, the new game engine makes Fallout 4 the most graphically impressive out of them all. And they put it to good use in depicting some great scenes in the game. Fallout 4 took what its predecessors did correctly and made it even better. And there you have it. Be it for the story, the action, or just the fun of surviving in a ruined world, this game franchise has become popular through a series of smartly made choices based on improving from the past. They started small, but even a small change from 2D to 3D was enough to drum up a fan base. They went to New Vegas with new mechanics, but saw that people didn't care much for the story or location they created. Combining all they learned, they crafted Fallout 4, polishing up on everything that made the first 2 games good, and adding a few fun mechanics to really make Fallout 4 original. That is what made Fallout 4 a beloved franchise.